right, everybody. Joining us on the next woman up is Richmond forward Maggie Doogan. Maggie is a senior for the Spiders, averaging career highs pretty much across the board, highlighted by her 23 points, 8.5 rebounds, and 5 assists per game. Just absolutely ridiculous numbers that you're putting up here this year, Maggie. You are the reigning A10 Player of the Year, a former state champion in Pennsylvania, a McDonald's All-American nominee. And if we listed off all of your honors over the last several years of your career, we'd be here all day. So we'll stop there and just say thank you so much for taking time to join us.
Thank you so much.
I want to start things off by talking about your basketball journey. It's not necessarily an unusual one, but a little bit different probably than a lot of people know. You basically grew up in the gym. You are the daughter of a former player and coach. You played for your mom as a high school athlete, and she was pretty well decorated herself. So a little bit to live up there too.
Yeah.
But it seems like there was never any pressure put on you to play basketball. I read an interview with your mom, and she talked about she wanted that to be your journey and your love. How did you ultimately discover your love for the game, and what made you decide to pursue hoops?
Yeah. Like you said, it was definitely something introduced to me at a very young age. My mom being a college coach at LaSalle University, which is like a half hour from my house. So it was an easy drive when I was, 3, 4, 5 years old. And I just loved being around her team. I loved taking the buses for road trips. I loved being the water girl behind their benches and just being in their locker room and just hanging out with, that team. They still come to my house. Is my mom will still go out to dinner with them now. So that kind of community and just friendliness that the girls offered just made me want to be in the gym all the time. And I know kind of saying that as a 5-year-old is kind of crazy, but it was just something that I love to be around. And then kind of as I grew up and was kind of growing into my body, like you said, my mom never really put any pressure on me to play basketball. Neither my parents did, my mom or my dad, because they were both, pretty good athletes themselves. So they kind of they didn't push sports on me, but I was always doing something, whether it was soccer or softball or volleyball, lacrosse. I played almost every sport, and basketball always just kind of stuck out to me because that's what I was most comfortable with and most familiar with. But yeah, it wasn't until high school-ish, sophomore, junior year, where I really decided that I want to play in college. I want this to be, my future and something that I want to take seriously. And yeah, it just kind of took off from there. But it was definitely the LaSalle team when my mom coached that kind of instilled the basketball love in me.
Awesome.
And Maggie, like you, I'm from Pennsylvania. I'm from the other side of the state, though. But I want to focus on the Philadelphia area. I know. Please don't hold that against me. I promise. But
I see the Pittsburgh hat now, but
I know. I was
hiding that earlier.
Should I switch to my Phillies one, or you know what? We're just going to put on a neutral San Diego cap real quick.
Okay, there you go.
So as we focus on the Philadelphia era, we know it's kind of a mecca for high school basketball. Playing at Cardinal O'Hara, very, very, very big school. What was it like playing at such a high level at such a young age, and how did that prepare you for your 4 years throughout college?
Yeah, I love O'Hara. My mom went there actually too, fun fact, and a bunch of my aunts went there. So it was just the school to go to in my family and right up the road. So it was an easy decision coming out of grade school was, it was always O'Hara. But yeah, I don't even know how to describe it. There's always been a winning culture at O'Hara. My mom was the coach when I was in grade school. She was the assistant and then became the head coach when I was an incoming freshman. So we kind of figured out how to win together. My freshman year, we were kind of in a rebuilding phase. They had just graduated 3 Division I players, so they were losing a lot. And, my class was still kind of developing, and going against 18-year-olds as a 14-year-old, it's not really easy. But I think I always have a lot of pride in my class at O'Hara. I know I have 2 other teammates in my class who are playing Division I basketball now. And we grew up together in the gym. We were always working out, extra time out of practice. And I think that just kind of helped us grow into the players that we are today. The work ethic that was instilled in us at O'Hara. And yeah, like you said earlier, we ended up winning 2 state championships my junior and senior year. And, that's an unbelievable feeling and something that I will definitely remember for a really long time, bringing the first state championship to my high school. So yeah, I mean, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of hard work, but I think playing in the Philadelphia Catholic League that O'Hara's in, you're going against Division I players every night too. So that's also helping you along with, going against your teammates in practice every day. So I have a lot of love for O'Hara. I still do. I still watch my sister play. My sister's there now, and mom's still the coach. So I try and get back and watch as many games as they can, or as I can of them.
That's awesome. I love that. And it sounds like that sense of community is probably going to help answer my next question for you. You talked about junior, senior year, starting to realize you wanted to play at the next level. You started getting interest from programs, I would imagine, at all levels. And it seems like your recruiting journey was pretty open-ended to start. But at the end of the day, you end up at Richmond. And that was a program that didn't have a big history, wasn't an annual tournament team. Why did you choose to maybe take a chance on that program when you certainly could have gone to, a ready-made tournament team or a team that had expectations of success like the team you played for in high school?
Yeah. Richmond was really interesting for me because I've never really been here. Like, I've never been to Richmond. I went once when I was really young. My mom was inducted into the A10 Legends. Something. She was inducted into something. And
she's just casually super baller, right?
She's just the best.
Hall of Famer in Philly too, right? High school Hall of Famer. Hall of Famer.
Yeah,
that's insane.
Yeah, she's crazy. But yeah, I was down here, but that was really the only time that I'd ever been to Richmond or really the area down south. So my sophomore year, my dad and I went on like a little college tour. We went and saw a couple of schools down here in DC, and I walked around campus and I was like, this is really nice. Like, I never really knew that this school was so nice. And the coaches were talking to me at that point. But as my recruiting process continued and it was getting, into crunch time of like, hey, you got to make a decision. I feel like a lot of coaches either put pressure on me to decide or were just trying to guilt me into making a decision almost. But Coach Russell, really honored the time that I took to make my decision, and he never forced anything on me. He wanted me to be happy wherever I was. And, obviously he made it known that he thinks I would be happy at Richmond, but he would support anything that I decided. And that really kind of stuck out to me from every other school. Aside from Richmond's great academics, I wanted a high academic school. And yeah, when I came on my visit and I met with the girls, they were all super, super nice. I could tell the ones that I would play with definitely had a high IQ, and they wanted to be good. They wanted to bring in the pieces to, get to an A10 championship. And that's something that he really wanted to, and something that he pushed for when I was in high school of hey, yeah, you would be a really big piece for us to, make it to the tournament. And, as a kid, you're growing up and you're watching March Madness, and you're like, I want to play there. I want to be in the tournament. So obviously, with that kind of being in the back of my mind, I was like it's a no-brainer. Richmond checks all my boxes. It's in the A10, so I would get to go home and play at St. Joe's and at LaSalle, which would be right in front of my family and my friends. It's only a 4.5 hour drive from home, so if I wanted a long weekend, I could go home. And it really it was a no-brainer for me once I actually looked at all the aspects.
And Melissa kind of went over your numbers that you're putting up this season, just incredible. And what we see now in an interesting era of the game where when players like you who are putting up those numbers, it feels like you have to leave mid-majors for bigger programs. Mm-hmm. What caused you over the past 4 years just to stay at Richmond? Was it kind of that initial visit and seeing the way that Coach Russell treated you, being in the A10, being close to home? Was there any thought of hey, maybe I do need to go somewhere else?
Yeah, not so much after my first 2 seasons, but definitely after last year on the March Madness run, just with how popular the transfer portal is. Obviously, that was something that, outside people were telling me, oh, you're gonna test the waters, you're gonna try and go to the Power 4, or you're gonna try and make money somewhere else. I'll never forget, when I came back from Los Angeles, right away, Coach pulled me aside and he was like, look, I don't want you to, hear anything else from anybody else, but I want you here. And I want to coach you for your senior year. Like, obviously, whatever you decide, I'm going to support and I'm going to help you with whatever. But I just wanted to make that clear right away that, like, I want to be your coach for all 4 years. And that was something that I really tried to focus on in high school was, like, I want to stay at a college for all 4 years. Like, I don't want to be in the portal. I don't want to switch schools and have to worry about transcript stuff. And even after my junior year, like, the chances of me, like, graduating in 4 years if I had switched schools for my last year were kind of low. So, like, there was nowhere else I would want to finish my senior year. Richmond has been my home for the past 4 years, and I'm comfortable in the system. I'm comfortable with the staff. I'm comfortable with my friends and my teammates. Like, I don't know. For me, it was a no-brainer of, like, why would I ever leave?
Yeah, I have to say, as a high school teacher, it's so refreshing. And someone who covers college football too, it's so refreshing to hear you bring in the academic aspect of that. I feel like it's gotten so lost. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you mentioned Richmond's great academics and wanting to have a degree and get an opportunity to learn and play really high level basketball. That is very, very refreshing to hear. And you have played high-level basketball at Richmond. You've been a huge part and really the cornerstone of turning that program that hadn't been to the tournament since 2005 into A10 champions, getting to the tournament, winning the school's first ever NCAA March Madness win. You talked about your dreams to play in there. With the success that you had, especially that last season, and you mentioned, you guys had that tough battle with UCLA. How did you approach your senior year knowing that now you're not an under the radar player, that you are going to be the focus of every team's scouting report going into those games?
Yeah. It's definitely a lot of like talking with coach. I feel like me and him have a really good relationship. So over the summer, I made it like a point to try and figure out what he wants from me this coming year, what I can do to be better. And I just took it upon myself to, try and be faster, try and be stronger, try and work on just the physical aspects of my body. And then also try and get better at like the little things like the ball handling and the quicker release and like watching a lot of film. Like, I love to watch film and see different reads. So I think that kind of helps my IQ in a couple different aspects. But like, it was definitely not lost on me that we were going to be losing a lot of people from last year. Addie Budnick and Katie Hill were two of our starters. They started with me for, the past 3 years of my college career. So I would definitely miss them a lot. But I knew that we had a lot of talented people coming in, a lot of freshmen, a couple grads. So I was going to need to step into a bigger leadership role as well, of just making sure that everybody feels comfortable in our system. Everybody is getting along with everybody. Just trying to bring like a community aspect back to the team and just make sure that everybody feels comfortable. So I mean, the focus on me is still going to be there, obviously, but I think we have a lot of good aspects or a lot of like new pieces to the puzzle this year. With a couple of our freshmen and obviously with Rachel and Allie coming back this year, they're going to have a lot of focus on them too. So just trying to figure out how to facilitate and just keep winning at the end of the day. That's all it's really about.
And even with that added attention, it doesn't really slow you down, especially you look at the last 2 years, those big games that you're playing against teams like Texas, teams like UCLA, teams like Georgia Tech, those bigger programs, it's just kind of, you have that clutch gene. It's big game Maggie, if you want, or I can't think of alliteration off the top of my head there, but it seems like the best of Maggie Doogan comes out against the best competition there. What is it about going into those big games that kind of brings that extra gear out of your game, if you will?
Yeah. I think if you look back at the Georgia Tech and the UCLA games, like the game before that in the A10 tournament was not my best game at all. And I definitely took that to heart. Like that was something like we wanted a back-to-back tournament championship. And I felt like I kind of did a disservice to the team because I wasn't able to perform to the best of my ability. So that was definitely something that I took a little personal. And I wanted to just prove myself going into the March Madness of like, hey, yeah, we didn't win, but we still got a chance to play in the big dance. So I have to prove myself. But just the big games in general, like being a mid-major and going against the Texas and the Dukes and of the world, like we're not supposed to win those games. Like there's really no point in not going out and trying your hardest and giving it the best you got, because, you know, like, you're the underdogs, and I like being the underdog. That's kind of how I've been my whole life. Of, you know, I was never really like highly recruited out of high school, but like I just wanted to like prove myself every night, and that's what I try to do. Even if we're not going against the big schools, like, why not go out and just give it your all? Like, it's a game, and at the end of the day, it's just a game. But like, why not? Kind of is my mentality.
You know,
Love
it is
that.
just a game. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Michael.
Oh no, I love that, and yeah, I did see that. The game before was against St. Joe's, 5 points out there, but people aren't paying attention to that after those performances you put on. I promise you that.
Yeah. And you had 23 and 7 against my TCU Horned Frogs earlier this year too. Pretty dang good game in that one. You know, you talk about basketball being just a game, but what's really awesome for female athletes at your level now that wasn't even true maybe 20 years ago is it has a chance to be a career for you, and a career for you right here in the States. And as I know you still have several months left to play, and you have a lot of college basketball left in you, but when you start to think about what might be next, what are your professional aspirations? Is playing in the W a goal of yours? And how do you think your game translates to that level?
Yeah. I think, obviously, like I said, you grow up and you want to play March Madness, and then you want to play in the WNBA. And I don't think the WNBA was as big as it is now, like when I was growing up. So I think that's great for the sport, is just how much exposure it's been getting recently. So yeah, I mean, I think I would be crazy not to try and pursue a professional career in the States. That's definitely something that I've been thinking about. Trying not to think about it this season, though. Trying to stay present and focus on the team that I have now and soaking up every last minute of college. But yeah, I definitely think that that's something that I want to do, whether it's in the States or overseas. You know, just gonna give it my all, and whatever happens, happens. I think I have a really high IQ that could, play or help me out in the pros. I think I need to get better defensively and get stronger, but I definitely think that, you know, I can shoot the ball really well. I can find different ways to get other people involved. So yeah, I think those would be two big things that I would bring to a team.
Yeah, that was actually something I was going to kind of follow up with there. If, the turnaround from March Madness to the draft, if all goes well with the CBA discussions, we know it's about 2 weeks' time. It's very, 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 very quick. So what's something like after the tournament that you're like, okay, throughout the season, I wish I would have worked on this more. This is something I really, really want to drill in as I'm talking to these GMs and these coaches about my game that I want to improve on. Is it that defense that you said? Is it kind of lowering your turnover numbers, or is there anything that kind of really stands out to you?
Yeah, obviously I'm turning the ball over a little bit too much this year, a little more than I would like. So that's definitely something that I need to work on, is the turnovers. Defensively, I think I could obviously be a little quicker, and the WNBA has an insanely quick guards. So that's something that I'll definitely need to work on. I think I just need to start getting my body right too, of strength, and just being able to, battle with some of the professionals. I think that's definitely something that I'm focusing on now.
All right. Well, now we're going to focus on doing some quick hitters and get you out of here with some, hopefully a little bit more fun questions. But we're still going to come with the hard stuff too. So, all right, we've talked about Philly basketball, and basketball is basically a religion in that area of the country. And you played Catholic League basketball, which is like the highest level too. But of your many honors, your championships, both individual and team in high school, which one to you is the most meaningful?
Ooh, the Catholic League championship my senior year. We won.
That's crazy. That's different than the state championship there, right?
It is. Well, that's just something that I grew up watching. Like, I would go to the Palestra and watch all the games, and we kind of took a step closer each year. So my freshman year, we lost in the quarters. My sophomore year, we lost in the semis. My junior year, we lost in the championship. And then my senior year, we finally got the championship. So it was just kind of a build, and it was a special moment with me and my mom, because she won a bunch of them when she was in high school. It was in front of a sold-out crowd in the Palestra, which is the University of Penn's gym. And yeah, it was so special.
Such a special arena too to watch basketball. If you haven't, please go there and watch. And Maggie, you mentioned earlier, your parents weren't forcing you to play basketball or anything, but you were always doing something, whether it was basketball, soccer, volleyball. If basketball hadn't worked out for you, is volleyball a sport that you would have picked to pursue, or is there something else that you would have kind of
No,
chased instead?
100% volleyball. I joke about it all the time. I was like, if I put as much time into volleyball as I did basketball, like I would like love to play college college volleyball. It's so much fun. It's so different from basketball, but there's a lot of similarities. And yeah, I loved it when I played. My best friends were all from my volleyball team, so it's definitely something that I would try.
Outside hitter? Were you an outside hitter?
I was the middle in high school.
Middle, okay. Oh, yeah, I'd probably be pretty nasty middle. All right. I'm going to stay in the Philly region because, you know, Philly, everybody that hasn't been there always thinks of cheesesteaks. Are you a cheesesteak person?
I'm not a huge cheesesteak person, but I am. I am a cheesesteak person.
So if you are to any degree, you probably have a strong opinion on who's got the best cheesesteak. Where are you hitting up when you go home?
Oh. Well, I feel like when you think of Philly, like Pat's and Gino's is a big one in South Philly, but my parents really like D'Alessandro's, so that's kind of where we go. Is that your favorite too?
I was sitting here crossing my fingers like, please say D'Alessandro's, please say D'Alessandro's. Yes.
Yeah, that's my parents' favorite place, so that's where we go.
I love that. Okay, so I hope we're still.
I've never been to Philly, so I got to put it on the list. I know it's on my bucket list. I'm dying to get out there at some point.
You gotta go.
I just went to D'Alessandro's in September. It was phenomenal. Love it as always.
Good. Yes,
it is. And I hope we're still friends after this one here, Maggie, because this is a very tough question. Are you team Sheets or are you team Wawa?
Wawa.
No hesitation. Wow.
I know. Well,
all day.
You had me with D'Alessandro, so we're still on good terms. So
okay. All right,
good. we talked about the history and your mom's kind of legacy. And it's always hard to follow in somebody's shoes, but you've definitely carved out your own legacy and your own basketball bona fides, so to speak. But what's something maybe that she's taught you or from her game that you really think that you've taken into yours and it's helped you become the player that you are today?
Oh, that's a good question. I haven't watched her as much as I would like, but one thing I've taken from her definitely is like the post moves and the rebounding. That's something that she was really good at in her day. And I don't post up as much as she would like anymore. But yeah, I would say like the way I finish around the rim and just like the rebounding is definitely something that she instilled in me at a really young age. Yeah.
Okay, we just have a few more here for you here, Maggie. And you mentioned earlier that you're a big film watcher. We are too, but I have to know who's the one WNBA or NBA player that you spent the most time studying?
So when I was younger, I really liked watching Elena Delle Donne. She was a big, she was awesome. And my assistant coach, actually, Janine, was her assistant coach in college too. So she'll make Elena references sometimes, which I really appreciate. But now I would say I love watching Nafisa Collier. I think she's so versatile, so talented, works really hard. And I also like watching Maddie Siegrist. She was from Villanova.
I love Maddie. Yeah.
Right down the street from me. And yeah, I know I played pickup with her a couple of times and she's super nice. So yeah, I would say those two.
Yeah, Maddie's a great one. And that might answer my next question for you, but I cover the wings down here in DFW as well. And I think there's a lot of similarities between y'all's games and watching her in an Unrivaled. I'm like, I think Maggie's game translates pretty well that 3-on-3 atmosphere too. On that note, and again, maybe you've already mentioned this, but is there a WNBA player that you think you're modeling your game after or that you compare favorably to right now?
Can I keep my same answers?
Absolutely.
Can I keep Nafisa and Maddie?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'm more like Maddie in like the perimeter game, like the perimeter aspects of more like shooting, but I can drive too. And then Nafisa, I think she moves so well without the ball. And I like to think that I also move well, just cutting and trying to find like the open spots and reading the defense.
Yeah. And Maddie's an absolute bulldog on the boards, which I think also is something that y'all share that same philosophy too.
Thanks. Thank you.
I saw a clip of you doing a kind of off foot shot in the paint, kind of going off your weak foot, pushing up there. I'm like, that has feet written all over this. So that's so funny that you mentioned that, because I can definitely see that similarity. But now this may be the hardest question you've ever received, so I have to ask.
Okay.
Present day, everybody as they are. You, your mom, and your sister. Who's winning a game of horse?
Present day. I'm gonna have to take myself. Just confidence. My sister is a really, really good shooter, so she would definitely give me a hard time. My mom, she hasn't shot the ball in a while, so she might take a couple rounds to get the feel back. But I'm taking myself.
Once a shooter, always a shooter, though. I get out in the gym with my team. I haven't shot in a year. I'm still hitting buckets on them. It's all I can do anymore at my age. But, once a shooter, always a shooter. Okay, final rapid fire way to finish. We know that the Spiders are a really tight-knit group. You've talked about the team and how important that group is. But we're going to put you on the spot here. All right? So which teammate are you giving the aux to on a road trip?
Oh, so I'm not going to count myself. Usually I'm on aux before practice, but I'm going to have to go with either Jada Green. She's in my class and she usually has aux. If I don't have aux, she has like every music taste. I love her music. And then surprisingly, I've just figured this out, but our freshman Anisha Scott has been on aux the past couple practices, and she's got some good jams too. So I got to give it to those two. Yeah.
All right. It's good. Spread it around a little bit. It's important.
Yes, exactly. Oh, and also shout out to Coach Ariel. She also gets on aux, and she has a higher aux.
Man, you guys got to have a pretty killer playlist going, I would imagine, right? You got some good variety.
Yeah.
And which teammate would you say always has the best snacks?
Best snacks? Oh.
Yeah.
Ooh. She's gonna kill me for saying this, but Rachel, my roommate Rachel Olstrom, she's super healthy, but is always down for a late night snack run, or she always has snacks packed for road trips. So I'll give it to Rachel.
It's awesome. All right, who's most likely to break up a super tense moment with a joke or an off-color comment?
Sam Dewey, for sure. She's
no hesitation.
She's so quick with her jokes. It's hilarious.
All right, and the last one here for you. We were just talking about some teams our last episode that are fantastic on TikTok. So we have to know which one of your teammates is the most likely to go viral on TikTok.
Oh goodness. Alicia Newell popped in my head right away, just because her and our freshmen are always doing TikTok dances. So I feel like she's the one who posts the most, so I'll give it to her.
All right, Maggie, we really appreciate your time. You've been an absolute joy to talk to, and it is a joy to watch you hoop. And so folks that aren't paying attention to Richmond, this is the time to do it as you guys get into the meat of the A10 schedule. And I am sure that we'll get an opportunity to see lots of you in March. Hopefully a really deep run. Maybe you guys will end up in the Sweet 16 down in Fort Worth or something. We'd love to have an opportunity to watch you play out there. So best of luck to you the rest of the season. Thanks so much for joining us on The Next Woman Up.
Thank you.